Good morning, except I think it's good afternoon, Josie.
It is.
For our listeners' sake, we are going to be answering one question, but I just want everyone to know that you've just completed the 31-day spring course, where we talk about how small changes in our behaviors or actions can make big differences. So, Josie, what is your one question that you've promised me already? You're not going to give me an impossible question. It's lovely to see you.
Yes, and you too. Now, the question is about my nervous system, because I have been experiencing tingling, some numbness in a couple of fingertips, which it's all been sorted out, with an MRI. The cause is spinal stenosis with a narrowing of the nerve canal at C5 and C6. But things are gradually improving. But I'm just wondering, with this tingling of nerves, is this something that is a spring seasonal sign? Is it to do with the springtime energies in Chinese medicine, or do you think it is like something structural in my system, or could it be an emotional response, as I have had lots of shocks in the past? So I'm trying to think of the best way to help my nervous system. If you can give me any tips about that.
Okay. So, Josie, it's a really good question. Okay, so I want to begin by a very small explanation about how I'm going to answer this. So, in the medicine that I was taught, we listen to the signs and the symptoms, but
Right.
we're also diagnosing in many other different ways. So we often also listen to what's not being said, or in this particular case, you are using words in a very particular way that I am going to respond to. So you are telling me that you are experiencing your nervous system to, I'm going to put it like this, that these are not your words, but your nervous system is very switched on at the moment. So, and I want to keep this very simple, not because we're stupid human beings, but because simple makes it more manageable.
Yes.
So whether we like it or not, all of us are a configuration of mind, body, and spirit. And if we have had a lot of shock and trauma, very often we don't lead lives where we're able to recover fully from all the events that have happened. And our bodies and our minds and our spirits cope and we cope and we cope and we cope until we can't any longer. And then the body very cleverly starts giving us signs and symptoms of being overloaded. Now, in Western thinking, we immediately go, what's wrong with us? So we don't mean to, but we cause ourselves almost like a double whammy of trauma. Does that make sense?
Yes, that tends to happen with me,
Okay. So, Josie, in this particular case, because quite a few of your signs and symptoms are on the left side, it will be to do with what the MRIs are telling you and what is happening in your spine. But what I'm here to share with you from my own personal experience of having had many spinal surgeries.
You're okay. A spinal expert.
I'm a spinal expert, or I'm a surgery expert. I don't know which. I'm a expert patient. Is that the more that you work with your energy, your dynamic life force, as I called it in the course, the more that you can learn what your own clever wisdom is saying. So I'm going to go back to what you said. You are telling me that your nervous system is hyperactive in a sense. And you're also saying, which was off this recording, that you are learning to pace yourself. Now, if we were educated to know generally that every sign and symptom is trying to get our attention in a good way, every sign, every symptom is for us, not against us, then we would go with the flow much more. So we would pace ourselves, because your own mind, body, and spirit is attempting to give you more quality of life. But what most of us do, I include myself in this, okay, is we go either too fast or too slow. We're not at pace with our real needs. So you definitely have some wear and tear, even though you're very young in spirit. You're, if I may say so, you're a very old soul. You've got great wisdom. You're a giver in life. So you, whether you like it or not, your mind and your body and your spirit is asking of you to be in harmony with yourself and be in pace with yourself. And most of us are not very good at that. It's like a lifetime's journey of what does it look like to love ourselves? What does it look like to care for ourselves? What does it look like to really take care? Really pay attention. So I think you've got this left and this right situation going on at the moment to allow you to adjust to absorbing and receiving in the way that you give out. So when you walk through your life, when you go to church on Sundays, your presence and your voice gives out. So you're almost pathologically incapable of being rude to people. You can't help yourself. You're completely present, and you are there for another human being, which is great. But when you come home, you have absorbed that person's energy to a certain extent. So your body, physically, your nervous system is asking of you to find ways of letting other people's energy go. So I'm going to give you a really, really simple tip. Okay. Every single time you go to the loo, I want you to start a ritual. And particularly when you've been around other people, of washing your hands and literally imagining that what you've been is enough. And if you were a pipe of just pure love, that actually you can turn the tap off, which is why I'm asking you to actually literally go to the loo and to a basin. You turn the tap on, wash your hands, and you turn it off. And when you turn the tap off, I want you to think in terms of knowing that your energy and your nervous system can just switch down.
Yes, yes.
Does that make sense?
It does. I also had the image come to me of a dial that I could actually turn. Say I'm feeling an 8 with my nervous system.
Yes.
I can actually rest and imagine it, going down to 7, 6. I can actually take charge of my physical body in that way, using my mind and imagination.
Okay, so do you see, Josie, how clever you are? Because you've just said, I can take charge,
Yeah.
electrical charge.
Okay.
You can take charge.
Yes.
So what I'm here to share with people all the time is our mind is in every cell of our body,
Yes.
but our spirit is almost more powerful than our mind. So if we can line up with our spirit and
Right.
take charge, literally with the energy of love, loving compassion for ourselves,
Yes.
we can impact every single sign and symptom and redirect it.
Yes. I'm just learning. Well, I've probably done this to a certain extent. I think we all perhaps do, but I'm learning more, having more faith in that,
Yes, it's about, a lot of us haphazardly do a lot of these things, but it's the haphazardness that has to
Yeah.
disperse, and we have to go, that works, that doesn't work.
Yes.
So a really good practitioner, which I hope I am, actually gives you back the authority over your own being.
Yes. And I think my tendency has been to run to other people, like old doctors, consultants, therapists, I don't know, aromatherapists, or all of them, whoever I think might be appropriate. Whereas if I just calm myself and sit still for a while, I can usually help myself.
Yeah.
Or I can make a more informed decision, rather than acting from fear, like, oh, what's wrong with me? I've got to go and get help or find out. If I take away that panic, I can usually influence things in a calmer way. I think I have learnt that from you more, and the course,
So, yeah, because Josie, we are electrical beings. And you are very astutely aware. In a way, the way that we sort of are taught this medicine is every trauma has the potential to give us more knowledge about ourselves. So the traumas that you've been through have actually made you, gifted you, if you like, with being very astute. But it means that you are sort of almost wide awake when you go into situations. You're on alert, which is great, but you need to tone it down, dial it down, like you yourself have said. So I gave you the tip of washing your hands because I wanted you to think in terms of turning that energy down. But in a way, what I think is happening is you go to your, let's say in a house, I think it still does happen a bit, but when the wiring wasn't very good in homes, there would be a fuse.
Yes.
And you'd have to go to the fuse box.
Yeah.
And sometimes you pulled it down, but it went again, didn't it?
Yeah, it tripped.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our bodies are like that.
Yes.
So we trip a switch, and Chinese medicine is very much about actually literally finding out where have the drains got blocked, or where has the electricity current just gone. That's a very simple way of looking at it. Yes,
that's very helpful. And I've put down your words electrical charge. I'm in charge of my
you are.
Electricity.
So, Josie, thank you very much for asking me that question. And I really hope that I answered it. And I've given you some action that you can choose. But what I've loved about this is I've made one suggestion, but I want other people who are listening to this to really understand that I will make a suggestion, but you, Josie, have come up with something even better, because the emphasis is on you, not me.
Yes.
So, Josie, I hope I'm going to see you very soon, and I'm going to say goodbye and switch the recording off.